What's up, guys? It's John with National Sports Entertainment. And like I said, I would cover the Saturday games with more sports, obviously. It's just more to cover. And I've even, like I said, been doing hockey and such. But we have college coming up tomorrow, and I can say it's probably going to be one of those days. Probably, it's not much different than normal with me, but it's probably going to be an incredibly good day or not so good at all. And maybe that sounds like one extreme to the other, which it could be, but I have a feeling just because I have quite a bit of underdogs as I had went into my last video. For basketball tonight, not great. Depends. Well, see, if the Kings cover, it's actually a pretty good night. It really just comes down to if they cover, because they're like 3 for 4 units, and as we can see, the Warriors are looking pretty good. So we'll have to see what happens there. I still have faith Fox is going to go off and go pretty insane. We did miss the Hornets. I figured, just made more sense, but I guess more people might have been on them. Most of these were leg ones. We got the Grizzlies backdoor cover, but we missed the Celtics backdoor cover. We had the Celtics. It moved to 8.5, so that was a true clip. And we missed the Hawks, but we got the Thunder. Didn't play the Bulls. So, and like I said, the Nets, the Jazz would be nice. It looks like the Jazz might have a shot at this one. Unfortunately, I did throw it in the parlay with the Nets because I did like the value, but most of these were like ones, so nothing too crazy. The Kings is the one that would be nice if they were able to pull out the cover. So for tomorrow, I have way more. Well, not way more, but I have. There's just more. There's more plays, and there's more. Well, I think we have the exact amount of plays, maybe. But as far as units in play, we have more units in play. So I want to go into those games. Some of these games are just metrics. I've gone into this before, and the metrics really work. The spread metrics. So Mass, Army, UMass has gone over. They're 7-1 to the over. So whenever I see that, I look at Army and make sure they're not 1-7 on the over, because then it's like something's got to give. If you have a team really good on the over, the other team's really good on the under, I just stay away from it, because no matter who wins, the other team's gonna move even worse or better against the over under. So I just try and find ones where we have a terrible team on the over under versus a team that's either okay or also terrible. And in this case, Army is like 50-50 on the over under. Mass, like I said, UMass is almost 100%. Of course, they're 7-1, so they're only one game from being perfect. There's a lot of teams still up in the high 80%. Some in the 100, some are 100% on the over under, and it's just not going to continue. So I like that to go under. I'm going to go into the upsets that I like. One that I don't like, I'm just not playing, it's Wake Forest. I did think about it because I was looking at all these undefeated teams, and they did this last year. Towards the end of the year, they started getting weeded out, and I don't think we're going to go into the playoffs with 2, 3 on maybe 2, because we had 2 last year. 3, 4 undefeated teams. So I was gonna fade a lot of the undefeateds, and I have, but I just, even though I don't think many people are gonna take Wake Forest, when you get to 21, it's a pretty high spread to cover. So I don't like to pick, too many plays like that. Uh, you might get the cover, but I mean the money line is just, it's rare they pay it out. I think the biggest all year is still Dion covering the 21. Go figure. And that was in week 1. So they're probably going to make it where Dion has the best, the highest covered spread, just to add to his resume. Now, my favorite play, and again, I'm going to go into the underdogs that I like. I have them all posted, so it'll be easier. But if you go down here, we got Vandy, Ole Miss. Okay, so LSU last week had a ridiculous backdoor over. We picked them to go under because they were 7-0 on the over, and they went to 8-0, and it was fine. It was they were up 55-0 and decided to run it. It was like they had 40 seconds left, and they did a run, and instead of the guy going down, of course, after the first down, he decided it was imperative to score, which pushed us over. So it's fine. That's what happens. So they won 62-0. But what I say is, if Vanderbilt goes over, give me a break. I just don't see it happening. There's I've looked back, and like I said, we did this all last year. I've done it with different teams. You will have teams, a team usually, that'll go a particular record on the over, and even then, they're not finishing undefeated on it. But well, we have a bunch of teams that are 7-1 on the over, and then we got Vandy here, who if they go over again is going to be tied at 8-0 with LSU. I just I don't see these teams defying history. So this is one of my favorite plays of the weekend. It's going to be a leg 3 for 4 units. And as always, I'm going to go into the exact unit increments in a minute. Kansas, I like them to win this game. Oklahoma is great against the spread for 1. And 2, again, I don't know if they're going to have all these undefeated teams. It'd be impossible for them to pick who makes the top 4 rankings. It'd be just a complete mess. So I think we're going to have some of these undefeated teams lose. So the one that I have losing, one of the ones I have losing, is Oklahoma. So I like Kansas here. And I like Florida. I wasn't going to play it because Georgia is bad against the spread. So with my usual metric logic, they're 5-1, I think. So they're not awfully bad, like 1-7 or 0-6 or 0-7. But still, 5-1. It's not great. So normally I would just auto take Georgia, but because of the fact that they're number 1 in the nation, they've been so dominant. 14, not that it's light, but it's not a crazy spread. I could see it being paid out. So I like Florida for this one. Like I said, I like a good chunk of underdogs. I like the USC Cali game to go under. USC's only gone under once all year. I think that's going to change. Oh yeah, and just because I forgot to play, I don't know why I forgot to. I think I forgot to post this one. I'm going to post it. I like Colorado State to beat Air Force. They really have been pitching them as a frisky team this year, so I don't think I typed that one in, but I'll type it in when I see it. So yeah, 14-point spread. It's going to get close to what Colorado's getting because I'm going to go into that one too, but not quite as much. I think Colorado's getting 17, so you're still going to get really good odds on this. So yeah, I like Colorado State to win this game. And again, it's a lot of it's because again, Air Force is undefeated. Are we going to have Air Force up there with Georgia and Michigan as undefeated team? To me, these things just don't make sense. So I try to look at the lines. Hopefully we picked the right ones. I'm hoping with my luck we don't have FSU be the team to get upset, but I think for a lot of these, I just think it makes sense. And with the exact same line almost, we have Ohio State, Wisconsin. I got Wisconsin. Again, the goal here is not to hit 70%. As you can see, we have a lot of straight underdogs winning. And I even thought about taking Vandy, to be honest, but I just took the cover. But my point is, I do think that we will get at least one of these. Now, depending on which one we get, it could pay. Obviously, we could profit just by hitting the one. And I'm hoping we might catch 2 of them. Now, again, I'm not playing them as anything crazy. They're all leg 1s for 1 unit. But I just think, I don't usually go after dogs, but I think on a week like this, there's a good chance where at least one of them could lose. And to realistic teams, but also teams where people aren't going to be pounding Wisconsin, in my opinion. So I like Wisconsin here for the win, as I do Colorado. Now, this could be a complete sucker's bet because even though they just came off a couple losses, that could have people saying, you know what, they're due or something to that extent. I don't think that's going to be the case, but it's still a heavy spread for a team. It's really hard to fade a quarterback who's playing like Shedeur Sanders. And even though he's garbage, it's hard to fade Hunter because when the media pushes a guy, people just blindly believe in him. So even though he's literally, like from yards allowed, touchdowns allowed, tackles missed, I would say the worst cornerback in all of football, and they have people convinced he's the best. When you have Travis Hunter and people are convinced he's so good, and he is good, but like I said, he sucks on as corner, and you can tell he just sells, or the guy just wouldn't be able to tackle a potato sack. Either way, I think more people are still going to like Colorado, but I don't see them as a team that's getting slammed. When again, they haven't won any game that wasn't a ridiculous comeback or a 3-point victory, and they've lost games they should have won. So yeah, to me, UCLA at home, a lot of people will probably be on them. And again, it could be a complete sucker's bet because Colorado is so popular now, people might still take them for the value, but I like it. I think it's good enough. So I like Colorado to win here. I would stay away from James Madison. I was going to play Old Dominion to beat them, but I just thought, A, I didn't want to play that many dogs. Again, I tried to choose the ones wisely that I liked. And B, James Madison often goes undefeated or loses like one game because they're not on the FBS level. I think they just now, that's why they're ranked. I think they just recently switched over to the FBS level, so they'll start playing actual competition. But they often go undefeated and don't even become a ranked team as a like because their competition was so low, or very close to undefeated. So James Madison is kind of an outlier, so that's the reason I don't look into them as far as if they go undefeated. But anyway, so here's the exact increments for our leg threes, leg twos. As I said, I like Vandy. They're also 1-7 on the cover, so we're double dipping there. I got them going under 62.5 because I don't think they're gonna defy history along with LSU. That's for the Spurs loss from the other day, and again leg 3-4 units, and the cover is going to be leg 2 for 2 units. And I like the UMass Army, like I said, under leg 2 for 2 units. That's for our Bills loss the other night. The rest of these are 1 unit, like I said. A lot of them are just straight upsets. So we got USC Cal under 66.5. It's funny because I often see Caleb get the 66.5 number. So maybe it's a coincidence, but 1 decimal from the 666, pretty interesting. Colorado 520 public. Again, is Vegas going to pay it out? It depends on how much they got people off of Colorado by making them look so incompetent. So I think it's worth a play. Wisconsin, the reason I went over, we're getting 485 there. Kansas, not as good, but probably means it's more likely to hit than the others. And they have Kansas Daniels positioned as a really good team anyway, so definitely, a possibility. And again, Florida, Georgia, even though Georgia's crappy against the spread, I think it's worth the play. And Oregon State covers, so I went with that because Arizona is very good against the spread this year, 7-1, I believe, or 6-1, 7-1, something like that. So I think that's coming to an end. Same with Penn State, same record, 6-1, 7-1 against the spread. I think Indiana covers. And just because I thought of it now, I do like Colorado State to win. Who's that undefeated team they were playing? I know they usually play late. There they go, Air Force. It's crazy, Air Force is undefeated. And since it's a 14-point spread, it's going to be very similar to the other, like the Wisconsin game, the Colorado game. I think they're all around 14-point spread. So depending on your book, you'll be getting right around plus 450. And again, this is going to be a leg 1 for 1 unit. This is the tedious stuff that I do, but I do it because that way people that are watching can see that every pick we do ahead of time. We're not like the channels that after the fact say, oh yeah, we totally had this team winning, we're up this amount, and there's like no proof of it. So I like to post every single play. So yeah, we're basically just waiting on the Kings, and if they win, it'll actually be a nice night. It'll be a plus night still if the Kings are able to win, just because of the fact that they're obviously the biggest play and cover, of course. For all I know, they're getting cremated right now. But yeah, between Kansas, again, I tried to stay away from the ones that, sure, if Wake Forest can happen, I just feel like coming into the year, I actually, of all the teams to go undefeated, Florida State was 8-0. And I went into why I thought they would probably win the championship. I liked them and USC. Obviously, USC's not looking too good, but I still like Florida State a lot. If Vegas liked them to go undefeated, I thought there was a reason, considering you would think they would have other teams in that spot like Georgia and Michigan. but they were ahead of them. Georgia and Michigan were both getting 10-1. So I looked into that, and I think it's for a few reasons. Obviously, strength of schedule is going to be the biggest factor, but anything can happen. But I tried to stay away from James Madison and wait in Florida State because I just feel like they're not going to be covered, or I'm sorry, they're not going to lose. So of the other ones, I tried to just fade undefeated teams, thinking we're not going to have 8 undefeated teams rolling into the next week, with some of them being Air Force, Liberty. It's just pretty laughable if you think about it. So I think some of them get weeded out. Hopefully it's a dog weekend. If it is, we had a really good weekend, most likely. And my next video will be probably basketball, because that's going to be before Sunday. I think we got some. We have to have some games tomorrow, and then I'll go into the Sunday games. I haven't even had a chance to really look into them because I'm covering hockey for my Discord. I'm covering college basketball. Well, not basketball yet. It's going to be in a week, so we'll be on that. But we're doing college football now. We're doing NFL now, and we're doing NBA now. So hockey is like, I know a few people did mention on my last video when I brought it up. They said they would be cool with hockey, so I will get some hockey picks out. It's just there's a lot of different sports I'm trying to cover where, like I said, I haven't even looked into Sunday yet because I had to make sure I got all the. I want to tackle the games in front of us. It's important to, just like the athletes pretend to be doing, to take it one game at a time. So yeah, hopefully it's a good day tomorrow. I think we'll do well, and I think we'll have a good weekend overall. The last 2 weekends we did fabulous. NFL we did, like I said, 70-something%. And in college, even, I think we did 50 and 60%, but on both weeks we did well because even on we lost a leg 3 with LSU last week, but because of some plus odds, because of some other hits, it was a very small red, I think it was like a -2, -3 red week for college. But then we had like a +10 day the next day. So that's just my goal between college and the NFL. Obviously, as long as we're in the green, and all of the sports, basketball doesn't matter. But as long as we're in the green, that's what matters. So I think we'll be in the green. I think we'll have a good day tomorrow. But yeah, I'll be looking into NFL as well. So take care, everybody. Thanks for the patience, and happy earnings.